Where do you find strength? Some of you who are watching this may know me, or you may know my wife, Mary Kay. If you do, you may know that our family is facing quite a bit right now. Last night, I was with a group who were getting ready to pray for one another, and the question was asked about what we needed prayer for, and my response was to ask if they wanted the full laundry list or just the highlights. The point of my devotional today is not to list off everything that's going on in our lives right now. To be honest with you, it's one of my personal failings that I'm never really comfortable doing that. I always feel like if I share my troubles with others, that they'll be judging me and they'll be thinking that there are other people who are facing far worse problems than I am, so what am I complaining about? I know that within the bounds of our Christian family, I shouldn't feel that way, and I am working on it, but that's kind of where I am. So, I mean, Mary Kay and I certainly would appreciate your prayers, but I want to talk to you today about a very famous verse that always seems to come up in times like these. It's from Philippians chapter 4, verse 13, and it says, "I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me." I have to say that through everything we have been facing, I have found strength. Not once have I questioned God or doubted He was out there and that He loved me. Now, I know that my experience is not necessarily a universal experience. A lot of people, when they face hard times, they do question God, and I completely understand that. So what I wanted to share today was more specifically how God has given me strength. By no means do I think that the way God has done this for me is the way He's going to do it for everybody. I think God reaches us where we are. There is no one-size-fits-all formula, so what strengthens me may not strengthen you. You may need something different because you and I are different people. But for some folks who are out there that might be of a similar personality type to me, you know, maybe this will mean something. And one thing I'd like to ask everyone watching this video to do is to help each other out. If there's something God does to help strengthen you, please share it in the comments here on the YouTube page. That way people who watch this video, even if what I'm saying doesn't quite connect with them, they can look through the comments and get a wide range of thoughts and hopefully see something that does speak to them. As for me, I am a very logically minded person. I'm a lawyer. I've always been a lover of philosophy as well. And what both of those have in common is the need to analyze and break down evidence and arguments. And that's what actually got me into apologetics in the first place. For anyone who's not familiar with that term, apologetics, it basically just means the defense of the truth of Christianity. So I speak to skeptics and non-believers, and I talk to them about all the evidence that God has placed in His creation that points to Him. What I've found is that, at least for me, this journey of exploration I've gone through for the past 20-plus years studying apologetics, not only has it helped me to defend the faith to others, but it also has given me strength when I'm going through hard times. Norman Geisler and Frank Turek have co-authored a book called "I Don't Have Enough Faith to Be an Atheist." That title kind of describes the point I've arrived at to a T. I've looked at the evidence, and I've arrived at the conclusion that denying God just makes no sense. If in my times of need I even start to think for a moment that God may not be there, my mind kicks in and it says, well, if He wasn't there, then how would you explain X, Y, or Z? And the answer is, I couldn't. Christianity just makes sense of too much stuff in the world, so I can't deny it without sending myself into a tailspin of irrationality. Rather than giving me answers, denying God would just leave me with too many questions that couldn't be answered. So even when I face hard times, I know God is still there. I can't bring myself to deny that fact. When my heart is troubled, my head kicks in. I may not understand why certain things happen, but I still trust Him. As I said, I don't expect that this is going to be everyone's experience. If you are more of a rationally or philosophically minded person, then I'd encourage you to start looking into apologetics. You may find that it gives you strength in your times of need. We have a weekly series here on the channel called Pocket-Sized Apologetics that hopefully can help you out on that. If philosophy isn't your cup of tea, I'd ask if you could do me a favor. Like I said before, please leave a comment here on the YouTube page explaining how God has given you strength when you needed it. I know I, for one, would like to see how God is working in your life, and I'm sure others could benefit from it too. We can benefit from each other's experience. So let's build each other up by sharing our stories of strength. Thank you. God bless.